She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city. Here in our city, got me up alright. Here in our city. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city.
Woo, man! Welcome back to another episode of the Night Ride. Let me focus.
Focus.
Man, this thing is like fucked up, bro. I think it's the light too. I think it's the way that the fucking lights hit me. Yeah.
There you go. Good stuff.
Welcome back to another episode of the Night Ride. Yeah, dude, that was a crazy episode.
I would say.
They went right into it from start to finish. I mean, holy shit. Okay, so I knew we had to deal with Angstrom, right? And I knew we had that like ongoing conflict. It's cool that they showed what happened, how he survived, how he got, well, not how, but basically that he got all these marks together and then they started to just go fucking ham on the planet. Um, you know, the fact that we got shown the capability of Mark to take on superheroes in the planet is nuts, right? We saw some that we saw some that were able to take on Mark, others that Mark just completely obliterated. The question for me is, so for example, the Mark in space, which in all sincerity, I thought the mustache Mark was gonna survive.
Yeah, fucking Iron Man took him solo.
That's what I was gonna say. So was it that Mark was super, super weak? Or is it like, for example, if you put that dude, that hero who beat him, the Iron Man dude, against I don't know, fucking Omnimark. Would Omnimark beat his ass or I don't know. You know what I mean? Or maybe is that hero just that powerful? Like there's heroes we don't know about.
I think that is probably the case, considering because I was thinking the same thing in the sense of there was some heroes that they showed that beat Mark by themselves.
Yeah,
And yeah, it could be a different level of Mark. Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, beating a Viltrumite is not an easy task. And
right.
some of the heroes that did it, you're just there like, you got to be pretty strong then. Like, no kidding. Because
Right.
that's exactly. I mean, Powerplex himself killed one all by himself.
True.
I mean, at least it showed him burnt in the background.
True. And but that's the thing too. That Mark didn't know that Powerplex gets stronger the more times he got beat the fuck up.
That's true.
Whereas
Yeah.
Mark had that info.
That's true.
Yeah, things would have been maybe very different for Mark if he didn't have that piece of information, that piece of knowledge. But yeah,
Probably gave that bro some excitement. He's like,
yeah, right. So yeah, I said I'm sorry, not I said. I was gonna say there's also the case that, maybe the marks that survived, maybe they just fought heroes that were like shitty, that weren't really that great. So there's that option too. We can see it in like a vice versa kind of way. Um it's just an interesting thing. But now they've all gotten put into this dimension. Um are they going to use them again? We don't know because now Angstrom is under the control of the technicians and we don't know who these people like who these beings are or what they want. All we know is that they had a promise. There was a mutual promise between both of them. Angstrom didn't deliver, and now they have him doing whatever the fuck they want. Um, my assumption is that Angstrom asked for the technicians, the resources to be able to like build this mark, this team full of marks, go into that one, to our marks world and take over. And then maybe, these guys seem like scientists and they're intrigued because they said something to Angstrom along the lines of like, oh, we're going to use, like, if you don't comply, we're going to use you for endless fascination, which makes me
Mhm.
think they like, they're like, oh, they want to, take this dude apart and study him or do all sorts of crazy experiments. So maybe Angstrom was just promising to deliver maybe like a Viltrumite to them. That way they could study him or do some shit with him. I don't know.
Or yeah, or Mark himself, maybe.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's essentially what I meant. But it's an interesting, that's an interesting dynamic. And then, there's a lot to talk about with this episode, a lot to dissect, but the two main things I sort of want to end on is one, and again, I could just go into further detail. There's so many things to talk about. But the two, main things I sort of want to touch on is Rex is dead.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that honestly, I know some people died in that episode or whatever, but he got me because I was like, I was I was waiting for Ray to pop up. I was
Mhm.
waiting for another hero to pop up and like save him or whatever, or him actually win.
Mhm.
And he did win technically, but dude, I was in awe. I was in shock. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
That was a huge shocker too. It's just like uh, it's the fact that someone like Rex would take, you know, he really committed to the fact that he was a hero. And he wasn't a half-ass hero. That's what he proved. He said,
Yeah.
if this is gonna be it, this is gonna be it. I'm gonna take it all away, but I'm gonna make goddamn sure that you're going down with me. Which
Hmm.
shows an incredible, I have an incredible amount of respect for Rex after seeing this episode. And the last thing I wanted to touch up on is this conquest dude. Now,
Yeah, that was random.
granted, granted, I was spoiled. Like I seen the dude. I know he's called Conquest.
Oh, okay.
What about him? I don't know. I honestly like all I know is I've seen him. I know his name is Conquest. Other than that, I know zip. I don't know what status he held in the Viltrumite Empire or, how strong he is. So this is going to be revelatory to me once we get to episode 8. But yeah.
Well, honestly, considering the fact, I know if you're gonna save him for the last episode, there's no way he's a weakling.
Mhm,
Like, just plain and simple, there's no way. Plus, on top of that, Mark has yet to beat a full-blooded Viltrumite.
mhm.
He has yet to beat one. So it's gonna be interesting because he couldn't beat that girl. I forgot her name. And now
Oh,
he's going against another one.
Anissa?
Yeah. And going against another one, and just by the look of the dude, he has way more experience than Mark. Is
Yeah.
it? I feel like it's gonna be a tough battle. Like
His
honestly, like I
fucking
don't
name
know if
is
it's gonna be the
Conquest.
level of. I don't know if it'll be the level of Omni Man, but Mark has gotten better, so maybe he can keep up. But dude, it's gonna be a hell of a fight. I'm actually kind of excited. But it's so weird. It was so random. It was just like he just showed up at the end and was like, "Oh, let's fight." And I'm just kind of there like, "Bro, no backstory, no introduction. You just show up and throw hands." But he thought he was Omni Man. Like he thinks he's the Viltrumite that was supposed to take over.
Yeah. And to be fair, the dude came in and was like, the hell are the hell are you doing? Like, this isn't what we told you to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and what's interesting is, so Krieg, how strong is Conquest against Krieg if Krieg gives Conquest orders? You know what I mean? Because Krieg was the one who was like, yeah, Mark, you better do some. Sorry.
Oh right, the dude from the beginning. Yeah, it was from the
Sorry. There's
season.
my neighbor's going fucking nuts right now.
Oh, I actually can't hear it.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, stopped. So what I was saying was, it's interesting because I want to see the really. Christ, are we done? what I was saying was, so yeah, I want to see like the difference in power level between Krieg and Conquest because Krieg was the one who told Mark, dude, do this. If not, we're coming for you.
Dude,
And
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even remember. Like the fact when you brought it up, it was the dude. When Oliver was born, he was there in that planet or whatever. I didn't even think about that when Conquest showed up. I thought the whole time he was thinking he was Omni Man, but no. Conquest knows exactly who he is and exactly the orders he was given. I didn't even realize that. I didn't put two and two
w-
together.
wait, was Conquest on that planet?
No, he wasn't on that planet, but you said he was given orders by this dude.
By Krieg. Yeah, by Krieg.
And they
Yeah,
already
yeah,
captured Omni Man.
you're right. You're right. Exactly. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird sitch. So is Krieg stronger than Conquest, or is Conquest just like one of those attack dogs who is like stronger than most people up in the hierarchy? I don't know.
I honestly can't wait to find out. But you're right. This episode, there was so much to dissect and so much that was happening. Because from beginning to end, it was like bam, 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 like so many things happening at once. You're just there like, oh shit. Like it was pretty nuts, honestly. I'm very curious of how this season is gonna end. Oh, I can't wait to see it. What is it? What was it? What was it? It was something. I forgot now. Oh, um, because we didn't get really like any. This is the last episode, and I don't know if we're gonna get really a resolution with Omni Man and Alan, unless
Mm,
they're gonna show up and help Mark. 'Cause
yeah,
that'd be dope.
that's what I feel like might happen. It seems like the logical course. Plus, I feel like Mark is definitely not going to be able to fight Conquest alone. So seems
I
like
mean, that's true.
and the world is in disarray. By the way, I don't think they have any surplus of heroes to help Mark with this one, and I
I was
don't
gonna
think there's
say, who's the backup?
yeah, and I don't think Mark like I don't think any other being on the planet is going to be able to help Mark with this one. Like there's eh, I think as a matter of fact there's no being stronger than Mark right now on the planet.
That we know of, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that the logical sequence of things is that um we get Omni-Man and Alan back on the planet, but again, if I go by logic, I think the world with what Powerplex did there, Powerplex did a power play when he sorry, I tried to use a play on words and it didn't work. Um, but basically, what he did was he instilled this uncertainty in people about Mark, and I feel like as if Omni Man does show up to help with the fight against Conquest, people are gonna be like, "Listen, guys, we've had enough of y'all. Y'all need to get the fuck out of here." Because
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
first it was Omni Man, now it was Invincible. Now this motherfucker came out of the woodwork. It's all these people's fault. Like the Viltrumites. We need to get you off the fucking, you need to get out of here. Figure your own
Yeah.
shit out.
But although a lot of the humans don't understand the real problem because when Omni Man came there the first time, it was to conquer.
Yeah,
So it is one of those things where it's like you're gonna need Omni Man and Mark to stay because Buildermites are gonna come regardless if Mark and Omni Man leave.
right.
They don't know that,
Um,
obviously.
yeah. So it's gonna be an interesting dynamic for sure. But did you have anything to say about the episode? Because I felt like I rambled for a while.
Oh no, I mean like it's just so much that I knew we could just probably do like a back and forth thing. Is the episode's like very long in the sense of you can kind of dissect every scene.
Hmm.
But honestly, I gotta give the episode on this one for like a 9, dude. Like it
Yeah,
was from start to finish, it was like crazy,
it was, and the
and the
animation went
animation was
hard too.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, you agreed.
yeah, it was good.
Nice.
I agree, dude. I agree. I feel like it was a very strong 9. So I'm very excited about next week's episode. Well, at least for us next week.
All
Obviously, the
right.
series is already out. But yeah. So rolling into nerd news, then, if we're all done with episode 7, um,
Also,
what?
Donald's the shit. Sorry, just had to add
Yeah.
that.
Oh, dude, Donald is so cool. I really like this character. Um, but
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So into nerd news, let's kick us off with Lorcana. Lorcana had an interesting bit because one, they're announcing the new set, Reign of Jafar. They've announced a couple of cards already. They're spoiling a lot of things. But I think the biggest piece of news from the last time we recorded up till now, that I didn't obviously get a chance to mention, was the fact that they're deciding to rotate sets. Um, so essentially, sets 1 through 4 will be phasing out once set 10 is released, which means
Oh.
sets 1 through 4 will not be playable in the standard like legal tournaments, whatever. And they created a new format where you will get to play those cards, obviously, because you don't want the cards to fall out of value. But yeah, the common, like, where most of the tournaments and stuff, or the most common tournament type is going to be with those rules, and so you won't be able to play the older cards. So
Oh, how that's interesting.
yeah, so I mean, I personally, it was a hot topic for debate within chat groups and stuff, within Facebook pages and whatnot. I think it's a very healthy thing to do. I feel like people who are butthurt about the rotation, and this is coming with no offense on the back end, but um, it's probably because maybe this game is their first TCG, or they're not used to something like that, so they see it as very like, oh my god, like it seems. Some people may think, oh, it's greedy because it's forcing us to buy the newer stuff, or oh, it's whatever the case may be. I feel like they're just not used to, I don't know, any other card game that usually does that. But what I want to, put a pin in is the fact that it's healthy in my opinion, because whenever any new set was released, whenever they showed new cards, it was always the constant problem of going back into the older sets and going, well, these older cards are always going to like, oh, that new card is cool, but it
The
loses
old card,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
It dies to the old card.
That's true.
And it sucks, right? Because then if you think about, oh, these new cards came out for, it's 6 colors in Lorcana. It's and they have their names like ruby, sapphire, steel, whatever. But let's just look at it this way: red, blue, gray, yellow, purple, and green. And so the top colors, what were they? They were either purple and red, or red and blue, or yellow, gray. And there was other color combos that never really had their moment in the sun, like red, gray, so a ruby, steel. That that color mix never really had its time in the sun because it didn't have maybe enough support, or it just lost against other color combinations which were much better. They synergized way more. Um and so whenever new cards came out, people were always looking for, how do we make like purple red better, or how do we make blue red better than it already is? How do we make it more busted? Because it's going to keep coming out on top every single time. Now, with them rotating the sets and people losing access to those staples, they're now going to have those color combinations that people weren't able to play are finally going to have their time in the sun. And I'm really excited about that, because now you're going to see people get more and more creative now that they don't have the tools, or let's say it in a better way. Now they have different tools at their disposition that they have to use. So
Mhm.
that's very interesting to me. Anyways, you know, that's what I wanted to touch upon.
I can see it both ways. Like I can support that side where it's like you get to try. You're basically just playing the game anew.
Mhm.
It's like because you can't use the old set. But I can also see why other people would see like, oh, it's like a money thing. Because in some form or fashion, it is. I mean, you have to figure out a way to sort of get people to buy the new cards. So this is probably the perfect way to do so. It is. It's
Mhm.
one of those things. But at the same time, like I think your opinion is kind of like, but it's fun that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you'll do something new. You
Yeah.
won't have to like you'll get like shocked, I guess, in a
Right.
sense. So I
Exactly.
can agree with both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. That's basically it. I mean, I would have something for Pokemon Pocket. Unfortunately, I've already talked up Pokemon Pocket with the new set. that brought the Alolan Pokemon and a couple more shinies and all that stuff. I talked about that on the last night ride. So there's nothing really new. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk about fucking meta decks because that's not what this is about. This space is to like inform you of news here and there. So yeah, there's that one game that came out. I haven't played it. I've heard such good reviews that I actually want to
Oblivion.
give it a try. No, not Oblivion, not Oblivion.
Oh.
I'm talking about Clair Obscur.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that is.
Jesus Christ. So it's a turn-based RPG. And I think I talked about it last time too. But basically it's yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah. We did talk about it last night ride. But apparently it's getting a lot of good reviews. They're calling it game of the year over all of the other games that came out that were really good because Monster Hunter Wilds was in contention for a little bit.
Ooh.
And I guess Clair Obscur kicked it right out of the fucking water. So I have no fucking clue what it's about if I'm honest, but I'm one of those believers that if people rave about it, it's probably because it's really good. I'm not the one of these fucking, if it's so mainstream.
Oh yeah. I
You know what I
get you.
mean? If it has good reviews, it's probably good. Um, Generally, I want to put that PSA in there. But anyways, that's my bit. I don't know if you had nerd news or anything for this week.
Uh, well, as you guys know, Joseph does a lot of board games and cards, and I'll just go ahead and do comics and collectibles. So an interesting what would you call that? I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a time in the Night Ride where I mentioned that the Powerpuff Girls and Thundercats were making a collaboration. But now I wouldn't say weirder because it's kind of hard to beat that one.
Mhm.
But besides the live action series that they're getting, they're also making a collaboration comic with Gargoyles and the Fantastic Four, which is just I mean like again a little bit more not so surprising as Thundercats and Powerpuff Girls because that one's kind of hard to beat.
Right.
But this one seems pretty cool considering the fact that both of them are in New York, so it's kind of like an easy setup there.
Right.
But it'd be interesting to see the dynamic and stuff because that collaboration is way bigger in the sense of that's Marvel. Like they're
Right.
collaborate like Dynamite Comics is collaborating with Marvel and that's like a kind of a big thing.
Mhm.
And it depends how far they're gonna take that because entering Gargoyles into the Marvel universe and if they make even further collaborations, it'd be kind of cool to see them as like a team in Marvel. But yeah, just an interesting comic that's coming out for anybody who wants to stay tuned when that comes out. Uh, and the other nerd news I had, which I thought I read it, I was gonna ask you about it, but since you didn't mention it, I don't know if you know about it. So I'm just gonna pop it up right now. New Jujutsu Kaisen movie gets its first trailer and US release date, and it's coming sooner than we thought. So I was like, "Oh, Joseph must know," but
I
I don't know.
I think I saw something. It has to do with Young Gojo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something. Um Yep.
Now, I think is for me, it's like, is it this is a cash grab? I'm assuming. Like, is this even a story in the manga, or is this just them trying to get more money from this franchise?
Um Based on what I'm reading, it just sounds like the hidden inventory arc. That the 4 or 5 episode ordeal right before we got back into the story, like the main storyline in Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. Looks like they're just compressing those 5 episodes into a movie based on what I'm reading.
Oh, oh, that's lame. I'm
That
sorry.
is that is kind
For
of lame.
anybody who's excited, I'm sorry.
If that's the case, it's, yeah, it seems kind of bad. Though I wouldn't this is okay, I'm going to say this. I wouldn't mind if they did like a some type of collector's edition for that movie when it when it comes out on like you know disc or whatever.
Mm.
Um to have that because I actually really enjoy those first 5 episodes of JJK season 2. Um I'm a huge fan of obviously when Gojo and Satoru still had that like, strong bond and friendship, which obviously they carried out um and we're hopefully we're not spoiling anything. Spoiler alert. We already watched JJK. If you haven't watched that, go check out those videos right now. Um but obviously their friendship lasted until Satoru died, even if they switched sides. But that whole relationship between them, Toji, um, that whole thing, those first 5 episodes are just so good. So I wouldn't
Which
mind
is why
having.
I think that this which is why I think that they'll probably get released in the theaters and stuff just to have people spend money on it. Because if you, it was like a good story run, so
Yeah,
I think people will see it.
honestly, I would go see it. I'm not gonna lie, I really would go. Um,
IMAX, bro, just
dude,
oh,
and they're gonna sell them fucking popcorn buckets and shit.
can you imagine?
Dude, it's
It's
gonna
the
be
purple thing
dude,
that
yeah, yeah,
goes
yeah,
around his.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Dude, that shit would sell so much. Listen, IMAX, if you hadn't thought about that yet, AMC. It's not IMAX, it's
uh,
AMC, but yeah. Um, but sorry to interrupt you here, but when you mentioned the gargoyles thing, it actually reminded me something with Lorcana.
really?
It's the fact that they revealed a couple new sets, like a couple new IPs that they're bringing in, including gargoyles.
So they've been everywhere lately.
Yes,
It's like an
dude.
anniversary thing for them or something.
I don't know, but listen, they announced gargoyles. They announced I have a photo somewhere here. But if you had anything else regarding comics, go ahead and mention that while I look for this. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
I don't have anything else regarding comics. That was some anime news, but collector wise, for any of my collector friends out there who collect statues and action figures, um, not trying to get political here, and I'm sorry, but look at your local shops online and you'll see that they're adding messages and emails to the tariffs that are passing by. So just know that your statues and figures will probably cost a little bit more than usual than what we did before. So pay attention to that before you get excited for pre-orders and stuff, because
Mm,
it's pretty harsh. But that's all I got. Honestly, I don't have a lot more nerd news, which
okay.
I feel like we really need to research. So before we start.
Nah, dude. I mean, this is cool. Okay, what I was gonna say, I don't see anymore. I know I saw a post where it mentioned the gargoyles thing. I can't find it. But one of the like thing that people were like really hyped about is the fact that they showed I think it was Gargoyles, Black Cauldron, um
Oh, Black
uh,
Cauldron, dang.
Darkwing Duck.
Oh shit! I would get those. That's
Dude,
cool.
dude, and hold up. It was Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles. Oh, dude, a Goofy movie.
Powerline, baby.
Dude, it was literally Goofy, Max, and Powerline.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, it was people lost their shit when they announced
Yeah,
that, dude.
I gotta put Roxanne.
Oh, oh,
Uh,
man, why is it weird that we had so many childhood crushes which were
On an anime
animated?
character.
Not
Yeah.
just animated, but like furries. No,
Oh my
fucking
god.
Lola Bunny and then fucking Roxanne. Like, dude. But yeah,
That's funny.
anyways. Anyways, that's about it for this night ride. We've rambled for long enough. Let us know down in the comments below what you thought about Invincible season 3 episode 7. Let us know about any of the nerd news we talked about tonight and yeah, just let us know. Let us know down in the comments anything, man. We really appreciate y'all. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe as always. We love you and till next time, peace out.
Peace.